So let's come back to the farm a little bit more specifically now. You guys are doing what's called dirt therapy. Seems to be rather niche in the grand field of therapeutic services. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
So, number one, do you think that dirt therapy is something that is increasing in popularity? And if so, why do you think that is?
I do for sure believe that. I think that there's just more research focused on nature. I just finished my master's degree in integrative health studies. And just by spending time and in-depth look at that, people are starting to see the benefits of nature. For example, Shinrin Yoku or forest bathing, just being out in nature, just being with the plants. After 5 minutes, you can see measurable results, decrease in cortisol levels, decrease in heart rate, and then decrease in blood pressure after being 5 minutes of that.
Is that just because we're like getting vitamin D and getting fresh air that's not being pushed through an AC unit, or?
You know, there are a few different theories. So there is the biophilia theory, and that is a peer-reviewed study by Wilson. And I believe that was conducted in 1985 and then revisited in 2023.
Oh, wow.
But so this biophilia hypothesis theory, it really looks into our innate sense to wanting to be with nature. We've come from nature. We spent most of our lives in nature, and it's just in the recent past that we started putting ourselves in these boxes and kind of like separating ourselves from nature. So it's like getting back to our roots. That's part of it.
No, and it makes sense. I remember the idea was proposed at one point, and it's somewhat unrelated, but I think it's similar in principle, where they were talking specifically about data and how in like 2012, all of a sudden the internet became mainstream. And all of a sudden you were giving people these, mobile computers where they were constantly being inundated with tremendous amounts of data and information, the kinds that the human mind was not designed to understand. We weren't supposed to ever be exposed to that much data. I'm sure it's a similar thing when you're saying like, hey, our modern work life for so many folks are living in offices for 8 hours a day, completely devoid of meaningful social interaction, meaningful senses of achievement, and also the sun. Like, no wonder we start to see fallouts because of that.
Yeah, we're missing that key part of our being, of our person, of being a human. It's the connecting, it's partnership with not only each other, but with nature, with animals, with the land.
Yeah, and you don't have to be a granola chewing hippie to be on board with that.
No. Literally 5 minutes a day, go outside, look at the mountains, get your hands in the dirt. So there was one other peer-reviewed journal that I wanted to mention. It's called the Stress Reduction Theory. And so that was by Ulrich. He conducted the first study in 1983, and then it was re-studied in 2023 as well. And so with the stress reduction theory, that just has data that shows the cortisol levels decreasing. It shows the blood pressure decreasing, heart rate decreasing, just from that connection with nature, being out there. And then when you're out with trees, you get cytokines that are released, and then that's helping your system fight off infection and just keeping you healthy.
So I'm glad you're bringing up some of the research trends as well, because this is always something that interests me. You've referenced 2 studies already, both of which are from the 80s.
Yes.
Then you mentioned 2 other studies, both of which were from 23.
Yes.
That's a 40-year gap in between.
Yes.
Why are we seeing a spike in dirt therapy, environmental, behavioral studies right now?
I really believe that it's a pendulum swing. So as soon as technology was first booming and we're really into this technological age, we just leaned on technology too hard and we forgot about this other part of being a human being. And then now, as we're so far into the technological age, we're starting to look back and realizing like, oh, maybe we're missing something. Maybe these really high rates of depression, maybe the isolation that people are facing and the loneliness is coming because we're forgetting something. And so we're looking back to the past and what worked in the past, and now we're grabbing that data.
So I want to touch a little bit on that. So obviously therapeutic trends have changed substantially, nonetheless, over the last 40 years, but of course over the last 80 years. Like, we used to have asylums and we don't really have those anymore. What are some of the therapeutic trends that were being offered to veterans that you think are going to go away in the coming decades?
Honestly, it's really hard to see that far into the future, but I believe that the There's a time and place for prescriptive medicine, of course. But I believe that we are going to stop leaning so heavily on that. And we're going to start looking at more natural, more alternative, more integrative systems. So how can we look at your whole person and see, okay, what is the actual root cause of this depression? What is the root cause of your anxiety? And then how can we work on the root cause? And then I think that as we're starting to work more on whole person care, it's going to shift that prescriptive medicine.
No, absolutely. I know one of the things that I've always been an advocate of is one, though I don't show it, exercise. Huge mental changes happen once people start regularly exercising. The other thing is diet. Like, I know there's a whole thing right now. There's a video that's gone a little bit viral, but it's about breaking down what they do to flour before it even makes it into bread. It's why bread in Canada and the US is so oftentimes, well, it's just worse than European bread. And it's because they do all these treatments and it's got real physiological consequences on people and it makes you feel bad. And so if you're moving to more organic foods, again, you don't have to be a hippie to see that there is a real benefit to it.
Yeah, and I mean, the taste is better too. I mean, you get a tomato that's out of the garden and you taste that versus something they're going to get from the store, completely different.